What is up, interwebs? Big Blue here, Matt, the Cutman, with me as always. And we are going to be reviewing Lost in Space. No, not that Lost in Space. The new one from Netflix.
Yes.
Yes.
The proper Lost in Space.
That's correct. Matthew, what'd you think of Lost in Space?
I enjoyed it.
As did I.
Oh, yeah. I was looking forward to this for quite some time, and I wasn't really sure what I was expecting because the trailers didn't really spoil very much.
Not at all. Like, most of the stuff from the trailers, like in the first episode.
Yeah, and they didn't go into, like, the plot of what was happening. They didn't go into the interaction between the characters. Actually, I think the only dialogue was the robot.
Yeah, pretty much.
From
a
the trailers.
lot of imagery in the trailers.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was enough to get you pumped up to watch. Who told me to do that? And then...
It's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it sounded great. And then... It got you pumped up, and then you were just like, "Here it is. This is what we've done." And yeah, it really held up, and I was really pleased.
I was pleased and not pleased at the same time. I had a very much love-hate relationship with this show.
Here we go.
The stuff that I liked,
the table of contents.
the stuff that I liked about this show, I really liked. And the stuff that I didn't like about this show, I really didn't like.
Okay.
But overall, yes, it was very well done. It was very entertaining. The characters were well developed for the most part. The the production value, it was an incredibly well done.
Yeah, you felt like you were really
show.
on this alien planet,
whatever planet it was. Yeah,
and you really I loved the complexity of the Robinson family.
Yeah,
that was real.
And, well, not only the complexity of their characters, but I loved how they had some dynamic shifts between what the 1998 movie was versus what the original series was. They had some role switches, which I really liked. But you're right, it felt real. They felt like a real family. There was not a whole lot of sugarcoating on what they were... how they were interacting with each other. Anyway.
And you know that has to come out because, I mean, when you travel with your friends or your family, the walls come down.
Yeah.
And the real shit comes out.
Yeah.
And, I mean... This is the ultimate travel.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So I think that's a good place for us to go ahead and say, we liked it, you should watch it too. Now we're going to go ahead and get into some spoilers. So if you haven't seen Lost in Space, go ahead and check it out on Netflix and then come back and you can participate in the conversation.
Give us a thumbs up before you do.
Absolutely. Make sure you subscribe. So, what specifically about them? Go for it.
All right, I really loved the science authenticity in the show.
Continue.
It was the 3D printing of the tools. There is right now on the International Space Station a 3D printer.
Yes.
That they have finally started to actually use to 3D print tools and
stuff
whatnot.
That they need. Yeah,
that is a real thing that people will have to use in space. That future astronauts, future human colonists of other worlds will have to 3D print on a massive scale. Probably even habitats they will have to 3D print.
Stuff that they need. Yeah, no. And yes, that
was really cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. The science part of that yes, I absolutely loved and thought that it was incredibly well executed, and like the methane to run the engines and the solar powered on the chariot, right?
Chariot,
the solar powered chariots.
I want a chariot.
Yeah, no kidding, right? what did you say to me when you texted me?
I said it's like if Tesla made a Humvee.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
And I want that. The Tesla Humvee.
Yeah, Elon, we know you're watching. Get on it, dude. But yeah, a lot of the science I absolutely loved. The science that I didn't love was stuff like Judy gets trapped in the ice in a solid block of ice. If it had gotten cold enough for her to get frozen that quickly, the Robinsons would not have been able to survive up top. having the top of it freeze over that she couldn't get out, that's incredibly more plausible than her getting completely frozen in a solid block of ice and still have the suit be warm enough to keep her alive.
Well, we don't know what she was frozen in. I mean, if that's just water, okay, you have a point. But if it's some other compound, then we don't know what the exact freezing temperature of whatever she was submerged in.
The fact that they didn't specify what it was made you believe that it was water.
I mean, that's true. Assuming it's just 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, yes, you have a point. And yeah, they took a cheat on that. And there were other parts that they took a cheat on, like the eels that were eating the gas.
Uh-huh.
There's no possible way that they could consume that much fuel.
Yeah, in
and
that
not
short amount of time.
Gigantic.
Yeah.
Or be shitting it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there were some issues that I had with the science in a way.
Yeah, and the thing that really nailed it home for me, some stuff that didn't work as far as the science goes, is the fact that in one of the last episodes, Maureen says, "It's thermodynamics. It's law, no matter where you are." Really? No, you're wrong. And it just...
I disagree. The laws of thermodynamics are pretty universal.
No.
Not pretty universal. They are universal.
I agree that the laws of thermodynamics are universal. I just wish the showrunners had known that when they filmed the first episode.
Well, the line holds.
Fair enough. What else stands out to you as something that you truly enjoyed about the show?
The robot.
Yes.
The robot was my favorite part of the show. I wanted more of the robot.
The budget constraints definitely showed a little bit with some of the robot stuff. Because
maybe.
Not with what they did with the robot, but the fact that they kept kind of sending him away.
Perhaps.
And...
That might have been it.
But the way that they did it worked for the story. So it wasn't a blatant... Oh, the robot's not in it because we can't afford it. But.
Right. But I do think, one, I really liked the dynamic between Will and the robot.
It was the Han and Chewie. There's the life debt thing. Yeah.
Yes. Also, I also agree that... Gesundheit.
Thank you.
I also agree that the human reaction of the other colonists to an alien robot, that would probably be around accurate.
Especially an alien robot that they now know is the reason that they're stranded.
But not all of them knew that. They just knew that it was an alien species that is a robot and it could be dangerous. They're not sure. But that would probably be the reaction.
Yeah.
If my kid comes home with an alien robot, I'm going to be a little concerned, especially if this alien robot, is certainly a soldier of some sort, a warrior robot. That being said, there were some times when I said, boy, it would be sure helpful if they had a warrior robot.
Yeah.
When I yelled that at the TV, one of the scenes when the robot finally did make its re-debuted onto the scene to take out those dinosaur-looking things.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. You're talking about by the fire, right? At the like second or fourth episode, something like that.
It was about halfway through when they were putting the signal beam into space.
Yeah. The giant tower light to the sky.
Yeah, and then the mosquitoes came, and then the mosquito hunters came, and then the robot finally had to come and save. Was it Judy or?
No, it was Will. No. Will was in the thing with not Smith.
Yeah. It was. I think it was like Judy. It was like in the tent.
Yeah, because the knife came through, and which was a really good misdirect. I really enjoyed that misdirection.
Yeah, that was nice.
As far as the robot goes, I liked that they didn't try to make it be the alien looking with the arms up here and the fake stuff, through the whole thing. I liked that it was able to transform and morph itself into more of a humanoid.
Right. It mimicked.
Yeah, because then we get to, now we can have a guy in a suit, as opposed to having a
giant robot you have to either CGI or, control.
Yeah. So, and whoever the motion actor was that was the guy in the suit just did a fantastic job of just being incredibly robotic.
That wasn't a real robot?
No, sorry, dude. Hate to break it to you.
I want one of those.
I know you do. Just stick to Boston Dynamics terrorizing you with stuff.
They probably have one in the back.
I have no doubt.
They're working on it right now. So yeah, that the robot definitely was up there. What about yourself?
For me, as far as characters that really stand out, is Penny.
Oh, yeah.
I am normally not a fan of 15-year-old girls in movies, but she was so on point with her dialogue and her facial expressions and just the smarmy, witty stuff that she had was just...
Yeah.
She was my favorite character. Every time she would make one of her quips, I would laugh out loud.
Yeah, she was a snarky teenager without being annoying about it.
That's the key.
I've always said, if you are going to be a smartass, you better be smart.
Yes. Oh, yeah, no, that's awesome. Put that on a bumper sticker, man. That's fantastic.
It's kind of the rules that I live by.
Well, actually, we're going to make T-shirts of that. So if you want a T-shirt that says that, comment down below and we'll discuss. But yeah, so her smarminess and her sarcasticness, it didn't detract from what was going on. It was incredibly well placed and just absolutely perfect timing. The character of the mom really pissed me off in the beginning. I wasn't sure what I thought of her. As it went on, and I realized that she's one of those scientists that's more book smart than common smart. Mm-hmm. What she was doing made a lot more sense to me. Yeah, because she definitely grew on me as the series went on. Because
I like how they wrote this in the introduction of every character, you didn't get their resume, basically. Yeah. Oh, hi, Dr. Smith with your PhD in whatever.
Yeah, or not PhD in anything.
In this case, but it wasn't like that. It was you got to learn about them in that timeline as well as the jump backs.
Yeah, the jump backs I thought were done incredibly well. Yeah, because they could have overloaded us with freaking Lost-like flashbacks.
And I feel like if that was a network show and this had to be 20 episodes long, they would have.
You're probably not wrong. Yeah. But I loved how they gave us just enough backstory. And it wasn't in every episode. It was only every couple of episodes that we got some backstory.
Just enough to fill what was needed in order to progress along forward.
Yeah. I also loved how they had some of the character shifting. Like in the original series, John Robinson, the dad, was the genius. And he was the astrophysicist.
Right.
The smart guy. And Don West was the super soldier. And... Judy was still the doctor, and Will was the freaking kid genius that everyone was trying to protect.
Right.
Now we transfer the super astrophysics genius role to the mom and make the dad the super soldier and make Don West Jane from Firefly. I mean, his role was so great. I loved his character. It was just... a really cool take on the Don character. I liked it a lot.
I liked that Don had actual character flaws.
Yes.
And that Don is meant to be not Judy's love interest. Was it Judy's?
Well, it's certainly not Penny.
Yeah, okay. So it was, okay, you're right. I switched two in my head. So Dawn is meant to be, Judy's love interest. That wasn't, they weren't hitting you over the head with that.
I did like their chemistry though.
Yeah. But Dawn was not this, knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
He was meant to be just
a scoundrel.
He was meant to be a scoundrel, but it wasn't like Han Solo was like the scoundrel that you love.
Yeah.
Don had like real deep character flaws.
Yeah.
He's really a jerk.
Yeah.
He's really a criminal.
Yeah.
He's doing things and he's kind of out for himself and he's not always somebody you're going to rely on. He has real problems.
Yeah.
And so it's not like, he's the bad guy with the heart of gold. No, he's a bad guy. He's, there's something, he's got problems.
He's a bad guy, but he's not a villain.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a schmuck.
Basically. I mean, he's out for himself. He's not out to do somebody else harm.
Yeah. But I loved their banter back and forth between Dawn and Judy. I love the interactions between Maureen and John, because that was some of the most real, like you had said, family stuff that we had, and it was fantastic to me. A buddy of mine at work had a lot of issues with the Marine character because he's former military, so obviously he's going to side more with the soldier, thinking, you married a soldier, you knew what you were signing up for, why are you mad at him for going off to war when shit goes down? And I can kind of see that a little bit, but at the other side of the coin, it goes back to what we were talking about before, where Maureen is all about the science and all about the knowledge and doesn't really have a lot of,
right. It's cut and dry with her.
Yeah, very, very much so. Incredibly black and white.
Yeah. It's about the numbers. It either adds up or it doesn't.
Yeah.
So
I know you had talked about, we had mentioned the score, and the music in this to me was fantastic. I've been humming that theme for, a week now, because it was just so iconic, but also I liked that they didn't give it to us right away. It wasn't until they broke free of the glacier, and I think the third episode, that we finally heard the full orchestral score, as they're flying through, and you see that breaking out, and it's going across the da, 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 whatever the theme is. I can't think of it right now, but
you know who really liked the theme?
Turkish.
Did
you get any video of Turkish singing along to the theme?
I will send it to you.
Yes, you need to do that, and you should follow us on Instagram, and we will put the theme song of his dog singing.
My Labrador loves anything that was done. This is a John Williams.
Was it?
John Williams, he didn't do the score for this.
Right.
John Williams wrote the score for the original Lost in
Did
Space.
he really?
Yes. And they kept the original base of the score. This is a John Williams. I had to look that up, because I'm like, wait, Turkish is singing? He only sings to John Williams.
And the Lion King. Yeah, John Williams and Elton John are his go-to sing-alongs.
Right.
That's what he does at karaoke.
But I swear to God, if like Indiana Jones or Jurassic Park is on, he will sing along to the score.
Yeah.
And so he was singing along to the intro to this, and I had to look it up. Sure enough, old Johnny Williams.
John freaking Williams. Gotta love it. So, what are some of your? Did you have any other positives on there? Or are we ready to jump down into some stuff that didn't work too well for us?
You know what? Let's go ahead and jump into something that I didn't like.
Go for it.
I liked that Will was a bit of a science prodigy.
Yes.
I wish they would have proved that more. They set that up kind of in the first episode in him saying, oh, well, you need this in order for the ice to become flammable or whatever. What was the mineral? Do you remember? Put you on the spot here.
Yeah. Not methane, because methane's the other stuff. It was...
Well... Yeah, I can't think of it now. But that's what, they had to go off, and Will's idea saved the day.
Magnesium.
Yeah,
magnesium.
Yeah, so they preface Will as being, the science prodigy of the family. And several times over, John would say, oh, Will's smarter than me. I can't even keep up with him at this age. But they don't really prove that throughout the series.
Not enough mustard there for him to show it. Yeah.
No, more of his relationship with the robot and this, that, and another.
Yeah.
And really a lot of him just being kind of a stupid kid.
Yeah.
But not enough of the brainiac to warrant his stupidity of
other things.
Of his other things. Yeah.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I really liked that they didn't. I liked that they didn't do that, though, because it made the moments where he was super smart, kind of shine through. And to me, it was more of he was so overwhelmed by everything that was going on that maybe he didn't really have a chance for that that aspect of his bookness to come through. Because they, throughout the entire series, were emphasizing that, he didn't handle stress well.
Yeah.
So, and I think maybe that played into it a little bit.
Perhaps.
But I could see where you're coming from.
And we might see recharacterization in season 2.
I hope that one of the recharacterizations that we get in season 2 is Not Smith, because Not Smith really pissed me off.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
I hope that it does, but maybe now that they know she's not actually Smith, maybe they'll stop calling her Smith and they'll actually start calling her June. That would be a step in the right direction. My biggest problem with Smith is the same reason that I don't like The Walking Dead, and the same reason that I didn't really get into Battlestar Galactica.
Easy.
They got enough shit going on. You don't need a character stirring shit up.
Well, you're gonna have one in a group of humans. You're going to have a person that's gonna rile shit up.
But there wasn't any.
You're gonna have a rabble rouser.
I understand rabbles will be roused. I didn't need it to be Smith. It was just there was no purpose for it except that she was stupid. And
she was incredibly smart. She knew exactly how to use her skills.
I meant the writers were stupid by putting her in the show, is what I meant by that.
Well, you have to have the Smith in the show.
Every time, yeah, see, and having the Smith, I'm okay with having a Smith in the show as long as it's Gary Oldman. Because Gary Oldman is Smith to me. I don't care about the 60s stuff. Gary Oldman is Smith.
Well, I thought she was a very good foil to everyone's working together, and then you've got this one person who just does not want to get back up to the Resolute.
But see, that was
didn't
the thing.
Want to.
That was the thing. That's all she wanted to do was get back up to the Resolute, but she didn't want to do it by going along with the flow. She wanted to do it her way.
She didn't want to get back to the Resolute because once she realized that they were going back to the Resolute, then they were going to re-arrest her.
True. But I don't know.
So she was going to sabotage whatever was going on the ground. She didn't realize the planet was in danger. She thought.
Can I tell you something? When they did the she pans around when Maureen's up in the balloon and pans around and sees the black hole, and she just goes, "Oh, fuck," and it cuts off.
Yeah, that was a good cut.
Yeah, it was a great cut. It was fantastic. And then when she tells John, it's like, "There's a black hole." In my head, I went, "Of course, there's a freaking black hole." God, okay. So, but yeah, no. Going back to Smith, every time she was on screen, I just pulled my phone up and scrolled Facebook.
That's going to have to be your problem.
No, it is absolutely my problem. I just think that her character was... She wasn't a good villain. I hated the character, and not the way that you're supposed to hate the villain of the movie. She wasn't Ramsay Bolton, to me. You know? She wasn't Cersei. She wasn't even...
No, they all had kind of like that smarky, smart-ass features. She didn't have that. She was just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to like her.
Yeah, but not for the reasons you're not supposed to like a villain. I just didn't like her, period.
Yeah.
It's bad writing.
No, that was good writing.
No,
that was someone that did not have redeemable qualities.
Yeah,
and you encounter those people in life, so to pretend like they don't exist would be a disservice to writing a reality, like something that was grounded in reality.
A sci-fi fantasy show.
Yes, that is grounded in reality. That's why you didn't like something like Battlestar Galactica, because there was the human part of it was grounded in reality.
Yeah, humans are scum. I don't want to see scum when I watch TV. I want to be transported to a galaxy far, far away.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah, it really is. There were a lot of times watching this when the only reason that I kept watching was because I knew we were going to be doing this review. That's how much the Smith character pissed me off.
Well,
I'm glad I continued watching because overall I enjoyed the show, but yeah, her character just was... Yeah. Anyway, it's why people like her are why I don't watch the fucking news. What else didn't you like?
I tell you what, there were a few more things that I didn't like, but I think we're going to transfer to something more that I did like.
Okay,
and that was the premise of what they were doing, of their trip on the Jupiters.
Okay,
to Proxima Centauri.
Okay.
Would you take a trip on Jupiter on the Resolute using a Jupiter to the Proxima Centauri?
No.
Even
No.
having
No.
all of the luxuries
No.
of what they had on a Jupiter, assuming nothing went wrong.
Dude, I don't like to go to Publix to get bread. I'm not going to another freaking galaxy. No.
But it's like your entire house.
I understand what it's like. The answer is no.
Then goes with you.
No.
Oh, I'd be there in a second.
No. I would not. Now, one of the things that I did not like about that was they made it out that they just hinted a couple of times that they were leaving because Earth was not inhabitable, but incredibly miserable to be there.
Uninhabitable.
It was not uninhabitable. They weren't being forced to leave.
Oh yeah, It was not uninhabitable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I wish they had given us just a little bit more of that, of what it was like on Earth for them to want to leave.
Right. But you got the part where they explained what happened, really.
Oh yeah, no. I got everything that happened with the engine crashing or the ship crashing, and they're covering it up to make it be like a meteorite and stuff like that, and it blocked out the sun and stuff. And
then that's how they got the technology to go so fast.
Yeah, no, and I understand everything that happened. I just wish that they had shown us just one or two more scenes of them
on Earth
living in this, shithole Earth for them to
where it's blocked out the sky.
Yeah. For them to say, "Oh yeah, no. Leaving the planet forever is a good idea." I'm not like you. I don't want to go to Mars.
You sign me up.
Yeah. We could Skype to do the show.
That'll be quite a delay.
Well, nobody's watching anyway, so anyway, we're pushing up here on 30 minutes. What else did you what other points did you want to hit about Lost in Space?
That was I dug the show. I want to see more of what's going on with the robot in the next season.
Yeah, no, I absolutely dug the show as well. Smith notwithstanding. I really think...
Well, speaking of Smith, why do you think she launched the harpoon?
To give us some sense that she's not completely shitty, that in the original show, even though Smith was, an annoying piece of crap, that he eventually would do the right thing despite...
but why do you think she launched the harpoon?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care.
That's going to be a question that needs to be answered.
It'll be answered in the next season.
Because all she had to do was not launch it.
Yeah. But then she would have died.
No. Then John would have died. Nothing would have happened to her.
Eventually she would have died.
Not necessarily.
No.
She didn't know.
I think she did. I think she did it as a self-preservation thing. It was like, hey, I'll give them this one and maybe it'll smooth things over then they won't, and Maureen won't kill me. Type of a thing. So that's where I went with that.
It asks more questions than it answers.
Yeah, but it's a question that I really don't give a fuck about because I don't care about the character.
Well, you're gonna have to get over yourself.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I will say that I didn't like the ultimate ending. I knew that was where they were going to be going. That the engine that they brought back from the crashed ship was going to allow them to
launch into wherever.
Yeah, into wherever. I just wish that they had realized that having the Resolute come back and say, "Oh, hey, we're here. We didn't leave you," and then have it autopilot off and go away. I didn't like that. I wish that they had figured it out on their own, that they could use that engine to power the Jupiter. And
really, the final episode, I feel like the final episode, I don't know, what is it, rushed? Did they fuck up the first draft?
I don't know.
What the deal was.
Yeah.
But the final episode was not up to the standard that the first 9 episodes set.
Which episode was it that we realized that... it was the engine that had crashed on Earth. Was that episode 9 or was that episode 10?
No, I think it was 9.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because that episode was fantastic. But yeah,
and that's where they got the biofuel.
Yeah. With the freaking pterodactyl demogorgons. Yeah, that was those creatures. The creatures on those were really cool.
It reminded me of the things from Pitch Black.
Oh yeah. It reminded me of the pterodactyls from Jurassic World and the Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a hybrid of those two. It was the flying Demogorgon, which means the Duffer Brothers won't be able to use that little nugget in season 3. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this series. I can't wait for season 2. I'm sure it'll get greenlit. There's been a lot of buzz on it. So
it was supposed to be one of Netflix tentpole shows.
Yeah, and you could see why. The money that they put into the production of this show it was very, very well done. Those are our thoughts on season 1 of Lost in Space. What are your thoughts on this season? Did you enjoy it as much as we did? Did you feel the same way that I felt about Smith, or do you agree with Captain Wrongboy over here about what she was? I'm glad that didn't hit the camera.
I didn't throw it at the camera.
Oh, well, then it's a good thing then. Anyway.
Throw it at the monitor.
Folks, go ahead and...
throw it at your face.
Yeah, well, this face is... Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find something else that's fun to watch over here. We got some really fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We got Deadpool. We got Avengers. Further out, we've got...
Solo.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. Heyo! So, we'll see you next time on the interwebs.